Now it's recording.
This right here is the love of my life. I just wanted to say that for all you YouTubers. Like, subscribe. Okay. Love you, baby.
Love you too.
Doesn't he have like such a great accent? No accent.
Alright, get out of here. I'm gonna. Helog here. So I like making fun and educational videos. That's kind of what I want to base my whole YouTube channel on. So I decided, why don't I do another fun video where it relates to my Indian background and heritage. I came to America when I was a little younger. I was born in India, so I'm actually an immigrant. I got naturalized a couple of years back, and typically when I talk with new people, sometimes they end up asking questions about my Indian background because of curiosity's sakes. So I decided, why don't I make a video that'll help some people out that are maybe interested in Indian background with the top 10 questions that I commonly get asked because of my Indian background. First question on this list is, do you worship cows? No, I don't worship cows. Indians do not worship cows. It's a common misconception. Indians typically believe that all life, all animals are sacred, that they're very valuable. That's why most of them are vegetarian. Now, the cow out of all the animals is considered the most sacred, which is why it's highly respected and valued amongst all the animals in India. Now, why is this? It's because back when there wasn't that much technology, electricity, whatnot, primarily even now to this day, most of the Indians are an agricultural race. So when you have a cow, it provides milk, it provides all the work you need to cultivate the land, and this provides sustenance and to take care of your family. And all in return the cow asks for is that you give it some water and allow it to graze on some grass. This is the main reason that Indians love cows. Like, well, Indians hold the cow in high respects because it's just a gentle, love-caring animal. And more than anything, it's a symbol of Mother Nature with her ability to care and give so much for so little. So that's typically why you see Indians in a lot of these videos respect cows highly. So the second question on this list is your god Shiva and the elephant god? In a sense, yes, they are. What do I mean by this is that if you haven't noticed, in Indian culture, there's hundreds of gods. But in fact, there's truly just one god in the Hinduism culture. I shouldn't say Indian culture, the Hinduism culture. The one god is named Brahman. He is essentially everything, the universe. He's limitless, there's no form. He's the expanding ever universe. Now, gods that are derived from like Shiva and Ganesha, the elephant god, the personas or aspects of Brahman. That's why you see so many of these gods. They're just parts of him. Now, like Shiva the destroyer, Ganesha, who's like the fortune god. Different communities and different families, they will essentially have a family god that they pray to more than the other. It's based off of the family, or the community. That's all it is. But in Indian culture, there's hundreds of thousands of gods, I suppose. There truly is one main god, and that god's name is Brahman. Third question I get asked a lot is, what is my faith? What is my religion? My religion and my faith is Hinduism. India, this is why I corrected myself when I said the Indian god, because in India, just like in America, there's tons and tons of different diversities, different faiths that come into one country. There's Islamic people, there's Muslims, there's Hindus, Christians, you name it. There's even people with Buddhism. Tons and tons of different faiths and cultures are living in India. My faith is Hinduism with the typical gods I talked about previously. and that's my faith. So fourth question I get asked a lot is, can you eat meat? Now this is a good question to ask. It's not something that people will get offended of in the Indian background. Typically well, to answer the question, yes I do eat meat occasionally. I primarily choose to be a vegetarian and prefer plant-based foods because it's healthier for you, but that's another subject. In the Indian culture, like I stated earlier, the Hinduism culture, we typically don't like to eat meat because I have respect for the animals, right? But nowadays, with more and more, I guess, modernization, more and more people are being accepting of eating meat. There's even, because remember I told you before where there's like a bunch of different cultures in India, there's a lot of shops now in India where they serve beef cow, there's no pitchforks going around and stabbing people and all that. It's a bug. But yeah, I do eat meat once in a while, and it's pretty acceptable now in India. So the fifth question is, do you like curry? Do you like spicy food? Yes to both. Why? Curry is really good. Coconut curry especially is my favorite. Spicy food is delicious if you can handle it. I prefer Thai food, level 7. That's my taste. But to make this educational as to why Indian food, there's a lot of Indian dishes that are spicy, it's because Indian agriculture is the earth, or the ground I should say, where the climate conditions are perfect to grow a lot of these spices. The conditions are excellent. So, and in the past, you didn't have refrigerators, and you sure as hell didn't have ice anywhere to keep preserve all your food. Now instead of using salt, well, I guess we use salt. We primarily use spices to go and keep our food from decaying. It kind of deterred some of the pathogens like bacteria and everything from spoiling the food. And it's also based on culture. The Indian food, spices, like it's culture. Like anywhere you go, America, China, everything, food plays a huge role in culture. Now, don't be thinking that all Indian food is spicy, because it's not. I would say like there's more than half that's not spicy. Tikka masala, for instance, it's not spicy. It's really good. It's not. So yeah, I like spicy food preferably, and even my fiance likes spicy food. Sixth question is, why do people wear red dots in India? Simple answer for a complicated question. This is more than I can provide in this video. Is that the red dot is a symbol for a woman stating that she's married. This lets other men know that, hey look, I'm already married, I'm not available. Similar to how we wear rings here in America. Now, there are more designs than just a regular red dot. Now, it's actually called a bindi in culture. That's what the red dot that everyone associates it with. So the bindi, it has multiple purposes. Now the non-religious purposes is that it's a design. It's like a fashion sense for women. They have multiple designs for the bindi in the forehead, and it's just like a fashion. It's something that you just put on, like fake eyelashes, I suppose. Now for not just women wear bindis, even men wear them. And for the religious purposes, it's believed that it helps you concentrate more and it will help you open your third eye. Hinduism culture, and actually a lot of cultures, is believed that all human beings have a third eye. Opening the third eye with great concentration lets you observe more things in the world among us than just our two naked eyes. More spiritual factors. So that's the little quick synopsis of what the bindi plays in the Indian culture. The seventh question that I get commonly asked is, are you getting an arranged marriage? No, I'm not getting an arranged marriage. I'm fortunate enough to be marrying the woman, going to be marrying the woman that I love. Now, arranged marriage is still very prominent in India. Now, it's not as bad as it used to be in the past, where Everyone's getting arranged marriage. That's what was accepted. Now love marriage is being accepted more and more in India as the years progress. People are accepting of people from different backgrounds, different faiths, different castes, which I will talk about later. And so the typical things that I've seen in my family of how an arranged marriage goes out, it's kind of like an interview. You have your portfolio, a photo shot of yourself, and your background, like like what kind of work do you do, what's your salary. It's pretty interesting. It's basically, imagine a job interview, but instead a group of men sent out, like typically how it is like a woman will get portfolios. She'll get 5 or 6 portfolios in front of her, and she'll read the portfolios. You don't really know anything about these people, right? So then she'll pick a handful, maybe even 1 or 2, and she'll decide to essentially date them for 6 months, 5 to 6 months, maybe even earlier if they make a decision. If both the man and the woman decide, you know what, we can make this work, we can become life partners and support each other, then the marriage whole process proceeds. That's typically how the arranged marriage goes. Now, there's still some fine cases where, the stereotype of being forced into a marriage that you're not happy with, that still happens in some rural, poor areas.
I threw it on the ground!
Even sometimes, even in modern areas, but that's very rare. But what I described to you earlier with the portfolios, that's typically how it's done now. Well, for arranged marriage purposes. So the 8th question that I get asked commonly is the caste system still prominent in India? Yes, it is. It's still very prominent. It's a little shocking to a lot of people when they hear it, but that, like I said, it's the culture. It's still heavy. It's still there. It's dying down slowly right now. But there are caste systems. You get born into a caste. You just can't jump up to a different caste. You're born to a caste, and there are rankings between castes. The caste system was derived 3,000 years ago when there was kings, princes, rajas, and they played a beneficial role. So there's rankings 1 through 5. I don't really remember the names, so I'm gonna have to pull up my notes real quick. So the top, I guess I'm gonna go from the top to the bottom of the rankings. So the top you have is the Brahmins, and they're the priests and teachers. Then it goes to Kshatriyas, who are the warriors. Then it goes to the Vaishyas, who are farmers, traders, and merchants. And then it goes to the Shudras, who are laborers. And then it goes to the Dalits, who are street sweepers and cleaners. And sometimes people don't like to include them, but underneath the street sweepers is the no caste, which is the lowest caste. You don't have a caste. Similar to how there's discrimination of race in a lot of countries, there was discrimination of castes in India. It was required in the past where you would, for a job interview or anything, you had to put your caste down. My father had to do that when he was in India. He had to put his caste down. And if a Brahmin was there and he was on par with my dad in the job, the Brahmin would get the job because it's higher caste. Now it's illegal to do that. Like I said, it's changed. People are shooing away from that. It's still prominent in some areas. Where is it prominent? Arranged marriage. You typically don't, the parents will not accept an arranged marriage with someone of a different caste. I've never heard of a Brahmin parents accepting a Kshatriya for an arranged marriage. I mean, they might make a exception if he's very wealthy. But it is slowly dying away, like I stated, but it's still there. And my caste that I was born in is the Kshatriyas. Now my fiance, because she's American, she's white, she's not going to be a Kshatriya just because she marries me. That doesn't work like that. She's a no caste. But don't worry, we went to India. All my family members loved her. Now, the 5 that I said was the main, and each of the 5, like Brahmin, there's sub-Brahmins in there. There's even a more complicated caste system underneath. There's high Brahmins and then there's low Brahmins, and there's Kshatriyas, high Kshatriyas, low Kshatriyas. It's very complicated, but I just gave you guys a quick synopsis. yeah, the caste system's still prominent in India. The 9th question I get commonly asked is, can you speak Indian? This is the way I'm going to ask this question. There are around 50 languages that are spoken in India right now, currently. So I can see why someone would say, can you speak Indian? It's like saying, can you speak American? American isn't a language, Indian isn't a language. But it's understandable why someone would say that. The language that I speak is Tamil. And that's the language I use when I go to India and speak with my family. Now, the younger generation like myself can speak English, which is how my fiance survives when she goes to India. But the older generation, they didn't have education or anything like that. They did other stuff, So I speak Tamil. And that's what I speak. I'll give you a little. I guess I'll give you guys a little trailer of the Tamil language. Hello, in the bedu and the kitten. So it sounds a little garbled, I'm pretty sure. All I said was, hi, my name is Karan, and how are y'all doing? But yep, I can speak Tamil. The 10th question I get asked a lot is India like Slumdog Millionaire? I've never seen the movie, but from seeing a couple of the images and the word slum being in the title, I'm assuming that a lot of people in America think that India is just full of poor people on the streets and all that. That's not true, although there are areas in India, just like in America, where it's not as middle class or upper class, There are areas like that, but not all of India is like that, There are places in India, like where I go to with my family, where it's in a city, it's high tech, it's very clean. But, when I go back to India and visit, it is a culture shock, it is a little sad. And it makes me appreciate the life that I have, it's too often that I forget how fortunate I am to have had the opportunity to come to America. And my family were stuck in a one-room house when I was growing up. Only because we came to America are we able to live in this fantastic home. But that's what makes India great, and that's what makes America great. There's all these different types of cultures that come together. It's kind of like an aquarium. It's like when you go to SeaWorld or whatnot, you see all these different fish. That's what makes these countries great. And the reason I'm telling you this is because of all of these different cultures coming to India. There are fantastic areas in India. There's beautiful areas in India. There's like the temples that were created by some of the Tibetans. There's even Africans that came from Africa that still have the tribes that are in India. There's so many beautiful areas in India that it's a shame that the movies industry usually profits off of our good emotions. But to answer the question, no, not all of India is like Slumdog Millionaire. There's actually a lot of areas that are very modernized, and a lot of areas that are actually very beautiful, like Taj Mahal, for instance. Alright, there you guys go. 10 questions that I commonly get asked because of my Indian background. This video was just supposed to be fun and educational. If for some reason my facts were incorrect in some areas, please correct in the comment section below. I will not take it personally. This whole entire video was just to help out everyone that wanted to learn more about the Indian background. Alright, thanks a lot guys, appreciate it.